with the interactive game pieces, we wanted this concept of, you can bring in all these different play sets and keep expanding the mechanics of what you can do inside of the game and the content of the game.
So the big question is, what play set do we want to look at next?
Oh man, it's a big question.
We should actually ask the 5 people that are watching this.
No, there's a lot of people watching.
Well, thank you, more
1,000
than
comments.
5 people.
Let's see if
Everyone gets a toy.
So what do you got? What are the options available here?
We got Pirates, and we have Incredibles. What would you want to check out?
Those are the options out there. Are you asking the community?
Incredibles. Let's go for Incredibles.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people saying Incredibles.
So while we're loading into that, I'll probably talk a little bit about art style. So the team at Avalanche, that was a big challenge, was this concept of how do we take all these different Disney characters from all these different worlds and come up with an art style where it all makes sense. And so the concept with that was that we would actually, the guys at Avalanche met with John Lasseter and some of the guys at Pixar, and they were like, at first they didn't like the idea of the characters being able to mash up because it just doesn't make sense.
Different styles, different looks, aesthetics.
Yeah,
sizes
Sully was like 8
even.
feet tall, and then Dash is like 3 feet, so it would be just sort of in their different world. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, so that was tough for them, and then we actually went back to them and said, well, what if they weren't necessarily characters, but toy versions of the characters? And with this whole idea that there's no wrong way to play with your toys, and what if this is your parents' living room floor? You can just dump out all your toys and play with them however you want to. And so they're like, that
You're living
works.
a dream with this, aren't you? This is like,
what's great? I mean, so
your parents take away your toys when you were a kid. It's like, get you back, Mom. Look at me now.
Yeah, it's something about when your parents going, I'm so proud you're making toys. It's like, but I make video games. It's fine.
So it's but it's crazy because come up with the art style, come up with the general concept, right? Pixar guys are like, all right, that's cool, and then it's like, okay, but we want to put Pirates of the Caribbean in. So
yeah, right.
You go to Jerry Bruckheimer and you have to explain to him, okay, so this is the platform. This is why it makes sense. This is what we're trying to do. It's all toys. And by the way, this is not what the new Jack Sparrow looks like. And he's, well, you're gonna have to show that to Johnny and get his sign off, right? Like, okay, all right, we're gonna go do that. So it's crazy because I think once you see all of the figures that are coming out for Infinity, and you start thinking about that process, reimagining those characters in this new art style, and then everything, you begin to get an idea of like, wow, this is a big deal for the company.
Big time, and going forward as well, if you've got this platform. In fact, I've got a couple of tweets about this. People have asking about achievements. How will that be broken up in terms of these starter packs and stuff like that? And going forward, will you have, presumably you won't have achievements in the game for stuff that isn't out yet?
Yeah, I mean, so the policies, I believe, with First Party is that every time a new disc-based game comes out, then it has a separate set of achievements. The idea with Infinity, though, is that as we will go on and release new play sets, we'll put in new achievements against that.
Just to let people know as well, what platforms is it available on, or will it be available?
So it will be available on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, Wii U, and 3DS. And we have mobile as well as PC coming, but we're not talking about it yet. We're going to talk about it over the summer.
No worries.
It's pretty exciting.
Are you going to be talking about some next generation madness then as well?
Yeah, I can't answer the question to that yet. But yeah, I mean the press conferences we were at, and incredible machines, and actually really excited to see what we can do with the toy box mode and those new machines. Oh, it's going to be so cool.
I guess you guys with this, you're going to have to the idea of sharing is going to be a big deal as well, because you're going to have different friends who've got different sets who are going to maybe swap them over and play that way.
Yeah. So the toys are all we should get that out of the way. The toys are all platform agnostic.
Yeah.
So they'll work on a Wii U, they'll work on a Wii, they'll work on a 3DS, buy a toy once, you own it forever.
So if your buddy has a Wii U and you have an Xbox version, you can go over and
exactly.
There.
So that's a lot of fun. And then in terms of collectability, we just wanted all the characters to feel different. So their mechanics in game are different, but also just the overall art style of the figures. We wanted them to be more like collectible toys, less like bath toys. We wanted them to be really cool.
You guys are going to have instant sellout on day one just from Disney merch fans. The minute this stuff
your lips to God's ears, man.
They're just going to be all over. Dudes who don't even play the games are just going to get every single one of these guys. So we'll talk about what's going on here. This is Sandbox mode.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
So this is the
Incredibles.
Incredibles. Yeah, it's the Incredibles playset.
So starter pack.
Yeah. So basically what's going on right now is this is the very, very beginning. Syndrome's back, and he actually breaks out 3 supervillains that were featured, if you have the DVD or the Blu-ray, in those special features. Because they actually created them to be in the movie, but they just didn't fit, so they existed as a DVD extra forever. Pixar, we worked really closely with them, and they asked, like, hey, do you want to use, like, Baron Von Ruthless?
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, please. Baron Von Ruthless, you may remember there was a scene, Mr. Incredible and Frozone were talking. He was the guy that always monologued, and that's how we beat him. And he's actually in here, which is a lot of fun. Very first thing that happens is, so after you clean off the docks there, Edna Mode,
Nico Bellic.
you have to get a car.
Straight into the car.
So, as you can see, Police Chief arrives, gives us the car.
I got in huge trouble. It's like not an okay.
Straight off the boat. So many ways to stick a racist joke in there. It's just not funny.
Yep. So the whole thing going on right now, so you may remember in Lone Ranger, the thing was there was a mission log and it explained it there. We don't know where a player is going to jump off at the very beginning of the game.
Sure.
So we have to make sure that there is a quick onboarding process.
I just knocked a policeman there. It's a toy, man.
It's a toy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
We are A10 plus, Peggy 7, and USK 6.
Which is awesome.
Which is
Well,
awesome.
USK 6.
Yeah.
Germany.
Is it Germans?
It's the Germans. All
The
right.
Germans.
So you got no Nazi symbolism in this game. It's going to get released over there. Got it.
So one thing we were sort of showing off a little bit in the Lone Ranger was that you could swap in a character at any time.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's really cool about the Incredibles is they actually, when you get a little bit further, they have all their unique powers. Like eventually Dash, like when you're about 20 minutes in, will unlock his super speed. But I wanted to throw him on because his style of combat's completely different from Mr. Incredible. So you were seeing like Mr. Incredible is hitting a guy maybe 12,
big
2-3
bruiser.
times. Yeah, exactly. Well, Dash isn't super strong, so he has to hit an object, 300-400 times. But, super speed has its benefits.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, because he has a super speed, it's also helpful running up these pipes and such. So I'll go ahead and rescue this one guy. But yeah, the overall feel of this playset is really different from Lone Ranger. It was Old West, going around on the horseback and doing like all the gun combat. The thing here is it's like a superhero summer blockbuster film, which is like a ton of fun to play. Now that you saw a little bit of Dash, let's throw on Mrs. Incredible.
Stretchy lady.
Oh yeah, stretchy lady.
My favorite type.
So she, just like in the film, she has all of her stretchy
Elastigirl.
abilities.
I believe.
We actually can't use Elastigirl anymore.
All right.
Mrs. Incredible. So yeah, she has all of her abilities. She's actually a great crowd control character. So that's great when you have like 3 or 4 enemies getting around you. You just grab Mrs. Incredible, throw her on. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but she can at least tag all the targets at the same time. And
So
then,
is there a benefit to using one character maybe to get somewhere and then swapping onto another
bingo.
one?
So okay, and let's get through this right away, right? So there is no gating. There is no all the characters can go all the different areas of the world, right? But it's up to you how you want to go and explore that, right?
Okay.
So Mrs. Incredible, great character to use if you want to use the rooftops. Violet, awesome character to use if you're more of a stealth player. Dash, if you want to run fast, cool. And if you run in a heavy combat situation, Mr. Incredible's the best because he's melee combat, he's the strongest. So it's kind of up to players how they want to play with the characters. You definitely can beat the entire game with all the characters that come with the starter pack. So a lot of people ask us that question. Of course you can. It'd be terrible if you couldn't. So
yeah.
Can 2 people play as the same character in the game when you're talking about multiplayer?
Yeah.
so if you want to wreck house, like in the Incredibles playset, you throw down 2 Mr. Incredibles, and I mean, it's chaos because it's like 2-3 hits, and you're like picking them up, throwing them into the buildings. It's just so awesome to play that.
And the thing is, too, it's like, yeah, we've gotten questions about that. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, of course, that's what you'd want, right? I mean, it's like if we both had the same figure, of course, we'd want to play together with that character, with those characters, and see how they react. So,
Presumably you guys have been inundated, I can see it in the chat, with requests for various Disney properties. I'm sure you're not able to talk about them, but what are we talking about in relation to the project going forward? Is this very much a platform for the next couple of years? You're going to keep adding stuff onto it?
Yeah, I mean, that's our hope. We Infinity is envisioned as a platform that can go and grow
into infinity.
Yeah.
Yes,
But it's intended to support all things from the Walt Disney Company, right?
Yeah.
So whether that's the latest movies coming from the guys at Pixar, or the latest cool live action films, or latest sweet shows we got on Disney XD, or stuff that even even stuff inside the game right now from ESPN and ABC, so which are all part of
ESPN.
Yeah, actually, all of the in the toy box, all the sports stuff is ESPN themed. So you've got like ramps and jumps and X Games stuff, and they're like flaming hoops.